We go.
A quick little story.
On what?
When one kid, Brugman, Mike Kelly.
Yeah, I guess I was going to tell you about Mike Kelly because it was my nighttime thoughts the other night as I went to bed, and I started thinking of old friends, and Michael Kelly, Michael J. Kelly, was definitely one of my almost lifetime friends. I knew him from 1960, I guess, right up until he died, which was maybe, what, 2 years ago?
A few years back, yeah. It's been a while.
And Michael was such a character that Peggy and I and my sons loved him to pieces. He was truly like an uncle. But he was always getting into trouble in the Navy. But it was peaceful trouble. Like, you couldn't keep a straight face after whatever he did was done. It was absolutely a riot. He just did things that you didn't expect a normal person to do, but they weren't bad things. They weren't anything you could be arrested for. Michael and I served on the same ship, the Compton, and it was a World War II destroyer that, if any way you could describe it, it was a sports car. Well, Michael and I served on that, and he was always getting me into trouble. I mean, it wasn't trouble, as I said before. It was just trouble. I remember one time in the shipyard, he asked the captain if he could take out these old radio transmitters that weren't being used anymore. The captain said, next thing I saw was Michael and his crew going down a passageway with these big roller platforms where you put something really heavy on them and you had to roll them all the way. He said, but he was doing really good, and I said, Michael, where are you going with all those things? He said, oh, the captain said I can give him the deep six. Well, next thing I knew, he was dumping our main radios while we were on the pier. And I got everything double checked through whatever department controlled that in the Navy, and they said, well, we're not using them anymore, but I'd sure hold on to them in case there's a war. What do you mean in case there's a war? Anyhow, Michael got rid of those radio things. His repair shop was called the E.T. shop. And it was on the starboard side of the ship. And it had one big door that opened and you latched back to the side of the ship. And then his workshop was in that space. Well, because of lack of air conditioning and that kind of stuff, he usually went along at sea with that door wide open. Well, one time we came alongside the carrier to get fuel, and we were going to take it on our port side. And all of us, and you can all remember seeing pictures of wires going between the ships during this fueling. And all of a sudden there was all of this confusion and shouting on the bridge and on the Compton. Navy colors at that point for interior for the ship were gray, white, and I forget the third color. But it wasn't what Michael had painted his shop purple. So this great big, the inside of this great big door was like a big purple patch down the side of our ship. And that's what all the screaming and yelling and all was about, because the admiral on the carrier asked our captain, how did you get the approval for the purple patch on the side of your ship? And what looks like a purple compartment inside. What's this purple stand for? Well, it stood for, Mr. Fay, would you please come to the bridge? Mr. Fay, please come to the bridge. Which I did. I don't know what purple stands for, Captain. Well, you better well find out. I got a hold of Michael and he said, I just thought it was a wonderful color. I'm so tired of white and gray. Oh, and pea green was the third color that you were allowed in certain passageways and compartments. The order came down to get that compartment repainted in the next hour. Which of course Michael could do, and did, but all the time asking why is such a pretty color.
Nice.